going on, April? Hey guys, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. Right, we've had a lot of releases for the Analogue Pocket and some releases for the MiSTer too. So we've had a stacked weekend, guys. Like seriously, this weekend is absolutely awesome. There's been a whole bunch of public releases and there has also been some beta releases. So let's go through them, and you know, whatever you're playing, you're in for a great weekend. There's plenty of choice, whether you're into some of the slightly more modern games or whether you're into the old school stuff. There is something for everyone. So let's start with some public releases from Hotego and team. And yes, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game Core is now available as a public release, and it is fantastic. Just to kind of point out in this video, even though I'll be talking about some MiSTer stuff as well as Analogue Pocket, all the footage you're seeing in this video is captured on the Analogue Pocket. I was going to do it as an Analogue Pocket only weekend release kind of video, but you know what, guys, stuff came out for the MiSTer too. So let's have a look at this. So public releases, guys, for the MiSTer and the Analogue Pocket and any other supported platforms, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, guys. This is fantastic. I strongly recommend, if you're a family man like me and you've got kids that aren't into retro gaming, this is a good entry point. I've completed this 4 plays with my kids. Yes, I have 3 kids, so it made up the numbers good. My wife isn't so interested, but guys, honestly, play this. Now, points are here. If you are going to play 4-player, excellent, play the normal version. But if you want to pick your turtle, pick one of the 2-player versions, and this is why in this video here I have picked Raphael. So as well as the Turtles game in this core, which is the main game of the core, there are a couple of other games, and the next game we are going to have a look at is a game called PunkShot. Now, what is PunkShot, right? It's not something I played in the arcade, but you know what, I do have some appreciation for it. It's not something I intend to play too much really now, but if I do have, you know, when your friend comes around and this was his favorite game and he was like, oh dude, I absolutely love PunkShot, well, you know what, I will give it a try. It's a basketball brawler where you punch the living daylights out of one another, and you try and slam dunk the ball in the hoop, and you try and slam dunk your opponent's head into the ground. It's kind of fun, it's interesting, and guess what, you can even play 4 players. And the final game in this core, so guys, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, PunkShot, and this one here, Missing in Action, they're all public releases. They're available for your MiSTer and your Analogue Pocket just via update, or run your favorite updater and it will fetch the games for you. So this is Missing in Action. It's somewhere in the Green Beret games, maybe a sequel to it. Can't remember exactly where off the top of my head, but if you like the Green Beret games, you're kind of gonna like this. It's very difficult, but you know what, I have to say, playing it today, I got quite far on one life, so I imagine that if you persevere with this game, it is quite rewarding. Now, one of the best things about this game is when you're moving, as soon as you stop moving, the character doesn't like put his leg down or anything. He just freezes exactly where he is, and that's one of the goofiest and one of the best things about this. And also, when you're playing this game, there's some really cheesy and cheap moments, guys, but you can figure it out. In particular, I remember one time where there's a plane coming towards me. When I was playing it last time, I didn't know how to dodge it, and then now I just spotted a ladder on the side of the plane. We'll kind of climb up it and I get away from that propeller and avoiding instant death. Okay, so that's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles core with the 3 games, again available for the MiSTer and the Analogue Pocket. Next up, the game we are looking at is a game called MX5000. Now, this is already available for the MiSTer as a public release some time back, but it is now available publicly for the Analogue Pocket. And guys, go grab this now. Now, being completely honest here, right, the games that I like you may not like, and vice versa. I don't really like this game. This isn't the kind of shmup I like. I don't like the rate of fire, but I understand there's going to be people out there that like it, and that's what makes retro gaming and gaming on like the MiSTer and the Analogue Pocket so darn good, right? It's got something for everybody. This isn't something that's necessarily for me, but you know what, guys, this might be something that's out there for you. It's kind of interesting because when you get to a boss fight, you can kind of fly around, not just kind of fly up the level, but again, try it out, right? It's a public release. Your updater will grab it for you for the Analogue Pocket. On the MiSTer, you've likely got it already, but try it out. You know, you may have more fun than I have on there. I like my shooters a particular way, and unfortunately, this isn't that particular way. Okay, now let's move on, guys, to something from Obsidian.dev. Just to let you know, guys, I'm doing this voiceover in one blast. If I stumble on my words like I usually do, they are staying in there. So Obsidian.dev, if you're unaware, is someone that's been bringing or porting a whole bunch of games over to the Analogue Pocket, usually from MiSTer cores, and their latest work is Joust 2. Now I have to say, I kind of dig Joust 2, but I feel like the original got it so right that yeah, I don't like the sequel as much. Let me know in the comments below which one is considered the better game. I mean, it's interesting here, right? You've got a button that transforms you from riding an ostrich or whatever it is into like riding, what are those things called, like the horses with the wings? I know there's a mythological name for them, I just can't remember what. So I mean, it's interesting, it's amazing to see this stuff coming out on the Analogue Pocket, and a big shout out to Obsidian.dev, who is just absolutely awesome, since they just magically appeared on the scene magically appeared on the scene with all the goodness that they're bringing out. Now there's a few other games in the Joust core, Joust being the main one. Now there's a game called Inferno, and honestly guys, yeah, I've kind of got no idea how to play it. It's a kind of isometric maze game. You've got a gun as well, you can shoot. I was only able to shoot in one direction. I'm sure you can turn your direction and everything, but again, this isn't really a game that interests me personally to play. But again, from a preservation standpoint, from the standpoint that we're getting so many awesome games and so many arcade games for the Analogue Pocket, it definitely brings me happiness. So Inferno is something you might want to check out. I remember doing a video on this a while ago on the MiSTer, and I know there's a lot of people out there that like it, so it's great seeing this also coming out for the Analogue Pocket. Okay, now the next game as part of the Joust core, guys, is Mystic Marathon, again from Obsidian.dev, Obsidian.dev on our Analogue Pocket, guys. And you know what, I kind of have to say, right, out of the golden oldies, I kind of like this game, right? You are running a marathon, and I guess the marathon is kind of Mystic, but it's very, very unique in how you do it. So you're not button spamming to get your speed up, you're like walking along, you've got obstacles in the way, you've got water that you're kind of swimming through. One kind of tip here that I discovered, that if you go through the water in a diagonal angle, you seem to go faster. You've got one button that's jump, so you can jump over hazards. You collect like diamonds and gold and I don't know, some kind of power-ups in the way, but it's really, really interesting, right? The trees try and grab you. You've got a waterfall coming out of like a cave with a face on it. You've got these goblins. I mean, it is very, very interesting, and it's very, very unique. And this is one of the games I went into blind. I never played this before apart from what you're seeing on screen now, and I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Maybe this is something I would have played back in the day. It's definitely one of the more interesting games out of the 4 available in this core. But when it comes to interesting games, guys, Turkey Shoot is definitely interesting, right? It just fits that mark. Again, going into this blind, having no idea what this game is, there's a lot of games out there. I don't know what every game is. These games are before my time in the arcade, but I am enjoying messing about with them. Now, I would like to think that maybe you played this on a trackball or something, because you are literally a dot and you're shooting turkeys. You get one grenade that you can use, and the turkeys are trying to rob everywhere. So Bernard Matthews is probably going crazy trying to get these turkeys. If you don't know what Bernard Matthews is, give it a Google search and you find out. It was I'll let you guys find out about that. But yeah, Bernard Matthews would be happy playing this game and shooting the turkeys. It's kind of interesting, and I did have fun with this game. But again, do check this stuff out for your Analogue Pocket. Now, next up, just an update to a call that was received. It's something that I did a live stream on, but there is an update available, and that is the PCECD core, right? So again, updated for the Analogue Pocket. The sound sync issues have gone. Definitely try it out now. It's something that the core developer is working on, and hopefully there's a limit to how many bin files you can have at the moment within the core, and that is like 26 or 27, and hopefully that will get removed in the future, so we can run games that have more bin files. But what works on this, guys, works really, really well. I'm a big fan of Castlevania and Rondo. The Rondo of Blood game on this is absolutely fantastic. I love it, even though, guys, it is as tough as nails. Play it now. You're not going to get a better Castlevania soundtrack than this. Okay, maybe I like Symphony of the Night better, but guys, the quality of this, the CD quality sound is fantastic. And it's just amazing to see this on the Analogue Pocket. It's been out for a while, but it received an update a few days ago. I did do a live stream checking it out, and you know, I just kind of wanted to mention it in this video. So just to kind of go, the new stuff for the MiSTer so far was the Turtles core. Everything else you're seeing here was out for the MiSTer already, but this is a new update for the Analogue Pocket. And after this, the Neo-Geo Overdrive the Neo-Geo Overdrive core has also received an update. And I have to laugh over here, right, because the developer sent me like a file to put in my options. I think it's called an interact or interrupt file. I think it's Interact Jason. And inside, as you can see on screen, he's actually put down PC and turned this on because I'm such a doofus for this stuff, right? But this is amazing. It runs the Neo-Geo at 24 megahertz, so it runs a CPU at 24 megahertz. And what you're seeing on screen now, if you know Metal Slug 1, which I'm very sure the vast majority of you guys have played, this part here with all the explosions going on, it really does slow down. So it's completely subjective. It's up to you whether you want the nostalgia kick and you want the slowdown, or you never liked the slowdown and wished that it was gone. Well, if that's your case, then you want to try the Overdrive Core. It works really, really well. It has a couple of very, very minor issues that need to be ironed out, but overall it's working really, really well. It's an experimental core. Some stuff is expected to crash because some games just don't like being played in turbo. But guys, try it out now. But again, what I'm saying, it's been a stacked weekend, or a stacked week even, for the Analogue Pocket. It is just absolutely amazing that we're getting updates. And next up, remember what I said, there's something for everyone. So it doesn't matter what you like. You can like a Goldie, an oldie, some newer stuff, but the C64, the Commodore 64 core for the Analogue Pocket has been updated. Now, one of the major improvements in here, sorry, I didn't even actually look at the notes, I was just speaking to people on Discord. So one of the big improvements with this core is, guys, the sound. There's big sound improvements. So I've just run one game there because, guys, I absolutely love Rygar. I played this a lot as a kid and I tried this out. I did try out some other games as well. I did get some graphical glitches. Now, this core is a work in progress, but Marcus Triple Z, I like his kind of thought process and ideology behind it. He believes having something is better than having nothing, and I completely agree with that. It's nice to be able to play Commodore 64 in this state. I like messing around with test builds, right? And hopefully in the near future we'll get more updates and we'll get a fully fledged C64 core working on the Analogue Pocket. Okay, so now to kind of round off this video. So the beginning of the video, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, PunkShot and M.I.A. were new public releases for the MiSTer. Everything else was pretty much out for the MiSTer already. Now the last part here is where we're looking at Patreon cores, right? So everything previous to this is free on the MiSTer and the Analogue Pocket. These ones here are available for the MiSTer and the Analogue Pocket. However, these are Patreon these are beta releases that are only available to Patreon supporters of Hotego. Right, the first game in here, so this is the Namco System 1 core that's been updated, or some may call it like the Splatterhouse core, right? That's one of the games on there. Pac-Mania's on there. This week it's what you would call the shooters update. That's what Hotego call it. Some people call it shmups, some people like calling them shooters. It's completely up to you what you want to call them. Honestly, I'm happy with both. Now the main game on this core is Dragon Spirit, and guys, I have to say, remember what I said? Some people like some stuff, some people don't. This game makes my blood boil. I had this on the PC Engine and it was one of my biggest regrets. You've got your normal shot and then you've got your lower kind of level shot, and that lower level shot, it only fires a certain distance ahead of you. So sometimes you can see a power up that's on the floor, you can't get it because you've gone too far up the screen. Guys, this game is damn difficult, right? And even though this might be seen as the biggest release out of the 4 Hotego release, it's definitely my least liked one. It looks brilliant. I love dragons, right? Who doesn't like dragons? But guys, this game is tough. I don't know. I don't know if I want to play it. It drives me nuts, this game, right? If you do decide to play it, I would strongly recommend using auto fire and mapping where possible the bomb, your lower level fire and your normal fire to one button, and just kind of hold it down, right? Because you know what, this game is tough, and honestly I could use any help I could get. Now it's not a bad game, I'm not criticizing the game from a gaming point of view, I just find it way too difficult. And you know, sometimes if a game does get you angry, I just try and stay away from it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not that angry. I'm not one of the guys that smashes his controller at the window and then regrets stuff after. It just makes me angry due to its difficulty, and yeah, just having the 2 different buttons for different fires. But again, try it out, let me know what you think. The next game in the Namco System 1 is a game called Blast Off. Right, okay, I like this game, right? This game is a lot different to Dragon Spirit, and I preferred it to Dragon Spirit. So what you've got is you've got a fire button, and then your other button changes like your fire patterns. So you've got like some diagonal fire, you've got some straight up fire, you've got some fire that goes on the side and up, side and down, some wavy figure 8 kind of pattern. It's really, really good. Like I really like it. It's not something I played in the arcade, something I played on emulation when having a look at this core, and now playing a little bit more now. Like I will be revisiting this game. I kind of like it, and also like it when you get to a later level, it kind of zooms in. It makes the level smaller by making your ship bigger, and that's very, very interesting. The boss fights in this are decent as well. This is quite a decent game, I have to say. Okay, next up guys is a game called Dangerous Seed. Now Dangerous Seed is on the Namco System 1 as well. Now I like this, right? I like it. Why? Because I like your initial fire on here, right? So I started by spamming that fire button, and I forgot to do the test I should always do when playing a shmup or shooter, right? Which is hold down the fire button to see if you can get auto fire. And this has got auto fire, and it's got a steady rate of fire that just feels really, really good. And I really like this game. I definitely prefer it over Dragon Spirit and even Blast Off. It just feels right. It just feels good. I like the special fire in it. I like the enemies in it. I like your fire in it. I like how you get the power-ups. I really do like this game, and it's a good shmup, right? It's the kind of shmup that I like. A little bit before my time of the real shmups that I like, but guys, seriously, this is very, very good. There's some good stuff in this game, but again, everything is subjective, right? You may not like this game as much as I am enjoying it. You may like Dragon Spirit, but again, it's awesome to try this stuff out. So just to kind of mention again, the beta cores that we're looking at were or the beta games within a core are Dragon Spirit, Blast Off, this one here, Dangerous Seed, and the final game of this video for the absolutely stacked weekend we've had, more so for the Analogue Pocket, but also for the MiSTer. But remember, the MiSTer's been out longer, so a lot of this stuff is already out for MiSTer, and it comes out for the Analogue Pocket, and anything that's new comes out for the MiSTer and the Analogue Pocket. But this final game here, I absolutely love it, and this is called Pistol Daimyo. Hopefully I've got that right, and this just kind of reminds me of like a Disney parody. The character for some reason reminds me of, like, I don't know, you know, if Mickey Mouse was like, here, I met my cousin who didn't quite make the auditions for the Disney cartoons, but instead he went over to Namco and he made a horizontal shmup. So out of the 4 games that were made available on the Namco System 1, the 4 shmups, this is the only horizontal one, and guys, it's very, very interesting. You've got one fire button which you spam and you fire. If you hold it down, you kind of charge a cannon that goes in an upwards arc and comes down, kind of like a grenade or even like a real cannon. Now this is an interesting game. It's fairly tricky, it's fairly difficult, but I guess most shmups are, but it's definitely worth trying. It's very, very esoteric, shall we call it. It's very, very weird, and you know, I kind of like that weird stuff as well, right? Especially when you die and you turn into, I don't know, like a little baby waving these things around. It's super fantastic. But guys, that's really it, right? So just to kind of touch up, right, on this, on the finishing notes. So new public releases for MiSTer and Analogue Pocket are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, PunkShot, Missing in Action, and then for the Analogue Pocket we have got a public release of MX5000, Joust 2, Inferno, Mystic Marathon, Turkey Shoot, and then we've had updates to the core, the PC Engine CD, the Neo-Geo Overdrive core, the Commodore 64 core, and as beta releases that are only available to Patreon subscribers of Hotego, that is for the MiSTer and the Analogue Pocket, we have Dragon Spirit, Blast Off, Dangerous Seed, and Pistol Daimyo. It's been a great week for FPGA gaming, a great week for MiSTer, Analogue Pocket, and any other supported platforms out there. Absolutely fantastic. Do let me know in the comments below what your favorite game is, or what your favorite core is out of everything you've seen today. But that's really it for this video, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed it. All the best. Have a great Sunday. I'll see you guys around. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja